Aloha YouTube. This is Kai Turner coming to you with ReSquared. I'm here with Kevin Turner. He's won countless sports trophies. He's played professional football overseas, and he has his own entrepreneurial ventures. So, without further introduction, tell him about yourself, kid.
Hey YouTube, I'm Kevin Turner, the second Kai's older brother. So not his oldest brother, but his older brother. And first, before I even talk about myself, I want to say how proud I am of my little brother. I've seen him; everything that he does is self-taught, and I can say that from him playing the bass guitar to YouTube. People think that I taught him YouTube, and none. I didn't teach him anything about how to use a computer. He taught that to himself. As far as him actually having a love for guitar, he got that from playing. He was playing Guitar Hero. I
Oh!
remember. I remember. I remember it too. He was playing Guitar Hero, and he told my mom. He said, "Hey, I want a guitar because I like the game." My mom was like, "You know, it's not like playing the game." We all tried to talk him out of it. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, man, you ain't even gonna like the guitar. You gonna play it. You ain't gonna like it too much. And it took him about 6 to 8 months, but about 6 to 8 months in, he was not only could play, but he could play well. And I mean, play in front of people and they actually like it. So for somebody to be able to teach themselves a musical instrument and then be able to teach themselves the tech side of things, I think that says a lot about his versatility and his dedication. So I wanted to start off by giving you your flowers, while you can hear him. You know what I
Appreciate
mean?
that, bro.
Yeah.
And that was
But
that
as
was
far as
impromptu. I
me,
promise you. I didn't even. We didn't even talk about that. He just randomly
no,
came up with it.
everything that we doing right now is unscripted. I
I'm
don't do
telling you.
scripted
Thank you for
interviews.
saying
That's
that,
that.
because some people they might not
Hey,
believe that. They thinking we already
no,
rehearsed this or something.
it's unscripted. He didn't even know I was even going to say anything about that. To be honest, before 5 seconds ago, I didn't know I was going to say it either. So
He came
it
up
just
with
came.
something.
To me. But as far as what I've done, I've been able to live my dream by playing professional sports. I always was I always had love for football growing up, whether it was playing in the backyard, whether it was playing on the blacktop from Pop Warner. I was that kid that was at 4:30 and practice started at 6. I had my equipment on ready to go. I was a kid in the street always wearing his pads and people looking at me like, man, that boy crazy. But I just had a love for it, and I still do. I'm just not playing at the moment. I'm retired, but um, yeah, football taught me a lot of lessons in life. Just not about the physical aspects of life, but the mental aspects. And because in football, you learn a lot of lessons from winning and losing. So I'll give you an example. You lose a close game, you then have to realize that you have to focus more on the details of the game and say, okay, what are the small things that we're not doing that's causing us to lose these close games? It's the same thing in life. Is if you're having any kind of struggles that you may have, you usually have to slow down and say, hey, what am I doing wrong that I don't normally do? Same thing. A lot of football lessons translate over into life. Also about not giving up. I've
Mm.
been in football games where we've been down and we ended up winning the game by 20 points. We had a game my last year in Romania. We were down 12-0. And matter of fact, we were down 12-6, and I had already given up a touchdown that game to this receiver. He was a good receiver, and players make plays. He called a couple on me, and they were driving, and they were on like the 10-yard line, and I knew the route that they were going to throw so much so that I didn't even watch the receiver I was covering. If you watch the play, you can just literally see me looking at the quarterback. I played the quarterback the entire time, but what I didn't know was that he didn't throw it exactly when he threw it. So
Mm.
I was expecting him to throw it to an area that he didn't throw. But, you know, from, talent and hard work, I was able to reach out and intercept it with one hand
Oh,
and bring it back to about the 40-yard line. So, that was one of those plays where it was film study, and more importantly, it was not giving up. Because like I said, he caught a touchdown pass on me, and that was the first time anybody caught a touchdown pass on me in since like 2016. I've only had two people catch touchdown passes on me in my entire career overseas in
mm.
the 2 years I was there. So for that, it was a big deal mentally for me to just say, hey, I gave up a touchdown.
Yeah.
And but like in life, it's just like if you don't have a job, if you're unemployed, if you're going through something, the easiest thing to do is just to give up, put your head down.
Hmm.
But if you fight through it, it's probably going to be something good on the other side of that. And that
Right.
was just one of the lessons that football taught me. But as far as, like I said, my career, I had a chance to play some professional indoor football
Yeah.
in arena. I had a chance, in America, which was I had a chance to play indoor football, which is basically that football that you see with the walls that go really,
Wait, is
really
that you
fast.
talking about AFL?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
played in AIF. I didn't play in AFL. So, for
Yeah.
example, the AIF was like the CFL to the NFL.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah, so no, I wasn't as talented as the AFL guys. I'm not gonna give myself that, but right below that level, we was
Yeah.
right there. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay.
So I had a chance to, like I said, play that, and that prepared me better to play outdoor ball because indoor football is only 8-on-8, and it's only 50 yards. So you think 8-on-8, 50 yards, and it's 20 yards wide. That's a lot of action in a little space.
Yeah.
So what that means is that you have to learn how to move quicker. You have to be faster to play indoor. And the thing that indoor taught me was, speed, quickness, and being precise. Because in outdoor football, if you miss a tackle, it's 10 other guys. So somebody more than likely, unless you the safety, somebody else probably gonna have a chance to make a tackle.
Yeah.
And indoor, it's only 8. And most of the time the DBs is with the receivers. So now you saying it's only 5, and then you gotta count yourself. So it's only 4 other guys, and then there's 3 linemen.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
if you
It
don't
ain't-
miss if you don't make the tackle or the linebacker don't make the tackle, it's 6
Yeah.
every time. Literally every tackle that I missed in the arena, and I think I might have missed in my 3-4 years of playing, I might have missed like 6 tackles altogether.
Yeah.
Of those 6 tackles that I missed, 4 of them was touchdowns.
So,
That's how
so
that's
Kev,
how serious it is.
what inspired you to play football though?
Growing up and watching Barry Sanders,
Mm.
watching Deion Sanders, watching you know those type of guys, man. Those guys were like superheroes to me because I literally fell in love watching Barry Sanders run the ball. It was the cuts, it was anticipation, it was him being able to read what guys were doing, and for him to, you could literally see him translate his thoughts with his feet,
Mm.
and that's special. A lot of people can't do that. I can't do it like that. No, Barry
He's on a
Sanders.
different level. Yeah.
No, it's different level of agility. To run behind a line that he did, and for him to rush for, I think he finished with 15,269 to be exact. Um, Man, he was a talent. And then watching Deion Sanders on the other side, this was a guy that a lot of people know him for his speed, a lot of people know him for his flash, but they don't know Deion was a film junkie.
Hmm.
Deion watched a lot of film. Deion understood which quarterbacks could throw a deep ball, which quarterbacks couldn't throw. He understood which quarterbacks threw harder than other quarterbacks. He had a chance to he understood the game, and he was already, had tremendous gifts. He already
Yeah.
had amazing speed, amazing hand-eye coordination, leaping ability. So when you combine that with somebody that actually want to learn, you get guys like Deion Sanders that literally changed the cornerback position. I played corner because of Deion.
Dang.
That my
That's
first year, if you
everything.
remember, Kai,
Yeah.
I listen. I
Yeah.
started as a corner. My first year starting Pop Warner ball was me playing cornerback,
No.
and it was just because of me seeing Deion Sanders. That was it. I ain't know no other position on the field, and I probably would have been better at another position. But me seeing Deion is just said, man, you know,
That's deep.
I gotta play corner.
Speaking of that, while you was overseas, what would you say is like the main lesson you learned when you was over there?
to to
Good
be
luck.
patient and to stay focused.
Mm.
Um, and the reason why I say that is because a lot of people don't know both of my teams that I played for. Well, I played for 3 teams altogether while I was overseas, but I played
Yeah.
2 seasons. But I ended up wanting to leave both of my teams. One of the teams I did end up leaving, and
Yeah.
I transferred from the team. But my second year, I wanted to leave the 89ers too. We were having issues. Well, me personally, I was having issues with the insurance. I wasn't really feeling it. I was not really feeling the salary, and I was almost out the door,
Mm.
But I remember, the guys that I work with and the amount of work that we put in 2 months, we look like a completely different team. When we first got there, you could see it was talent, but it was wasted and
Yeah.
it was unorganized. And by the time we were ready to play in March, you could tell that we were a football team. And we weren't a great football team even then, but we was a football team. So I thought about that and I said, nah, man, I ain't gonna leave.
Mhm.
But
You thought
and I'm
about
glad I didn't.
it. Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't because we ended up taking those guys, or helping those guys. I'm not gonna say taking. We helped those guys to a championship. I mean, we didn't
Yeah.
win, but we helped them to play in a championship.
You molded them into better players.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. For
yeah.
sure we did. Yeah.
So in your football career, like what different positions did you play?
Man, I played my last year. I could tell you my position. I played my final year. My last year, I played wide receiver. I
Uh-huh.
played outside linebacker. I played nickel corner. I
Nice.
played free safety. I played strong safety.
Dang, you
Uh,
all DBs.
yeah, I played and only yeah, that was just that year. My my first year in Portugal, I played fullback.
Mhm.
I was actually supposed to be the fullback
But you was
and the
fullback?
linebacker. A lot of people
You
don't
over here
know I
talk
was fullback.
yeah,
Look,
okay.
I was out there blocking. Look, I was out there moving. Look, hey, bro, I got to find the footage for my first scrimmage at me at fullback. I did all right,
Okay.
but look, I played fullback, outside linebacker. I played defensive end that year. That one
Mhm.
one game I played rushing. Um, yeah, man, I pretty much played everywhere outside of offensive line and pretty much offensive line. Honestly,
Yeah.
because I played everywhere. Because you gotta be versatile. That's what I would say. It's good
And
to be
all right,
versatile.
and that's what I would say about you. Like you definitely as a football player, you definitely are a very versatile player. Do you think you could have ever translated that into making it into the NFL?
Yeah, I think I could have. But I think I don't think I could have at this size. I think I was maybe 5 to 10 years before my time. Because now, if you look at all the linebackers now, go look at all the linebackers in the NFL, not including the 3-4 linebackers. Just look at
About to say.
4-3 linebackers.
Yeah.
All of them are my size. They 6 feet to 6'2", 215 to 230.
Yep.
That was my playing size my entire career. But it was just that at linebacker at that time in the NFL, you weren't no less than 6'3".
Exactly.
And if you was 6'2" and you was about 270.
Yeah.
So the average size of the linebacker dropped about 30 to 40 pounds from 260 to 265 to now you're seeing guys at 225, 230. And it's
Mhm.
because everybody's passing now. So you need a guy like me that could cover a running back, cover a big receiver, cover a tight end. You
Yeah.
can't just put out a guy that's 260 because he
You're too
might be able
big.
to cover a tight end,
Yeah.
but against a receiver and a running back, he did in space.
Yeah.
So I think I was a little bit ahead of my time, but I definitely think if I worked a little harder and I was, like I said, 5 to 10 years later, like now,
Yeah.
it might have been different. You know what
Might
I
have been
mean? But
Vegas.
hey, I honestly, I'm glad it went the way it did because I think the NFL, and I know I have plenty of friends that play in the league, and they tell
Yeah.
me the NFL could spoil you. So I think the route that I went,
Was way
it
better.
made me yeah, it made me have a chip on my shoulder
Yeah.
because I was going into games angry, like, man, you know what I mean? Or I'm going into games, all I could think about is football because I don't have no friends out here. I just got, football to focus on. So,
And,
it helped out. It definitely helped out for sure.
that's like a perfect segue to the next question because I was gonna say, what advice would you have given your younger self or aspiring football players on the rise?
I would say get as much film as you can. Get as much film as you can. I would say do not go to a game alone. And I'm not just saying that for safety purposes. I'm just saying on the strength of getting film, even if it's
Hmm.
iPhone footage, make sure you get somebody that films every snap because the reason why I say this, man, I done had so many plays on film that got missed that was highlights. I done had interceptions from y'all didn't even get a chance to see my interceptions from my first year
Uh-uh.
because two of them didn't get recorded. It was one game where the whole second half didn't get recorded. That second half, bro, I forced them.
You
I had a
ran.
strip sack. Big. I had a strip on the kickoff. I had a big hit where I lifted the guy. Man, and they ain't get none of it. I'm
Yeah.
after the game, I'm looking for it, and I'm like, yeah, let me. And they, oh man, we missed that. So that's why I say
Mhm.
try to get somebody that you know that you could trust to film.
Yeah.
That's another thing I would say. Get as much film. The other thing I would tell my younger self though, and this is probably the best one, is to be more humble and realize that it's bigger than you.
Yeah.
And I think that first year when I went through that dispute with my team and I ended up getting transferred to another team, the what I did wasn't wrong. The way I did it, I could have done it better. Because what I found was that even though everybody said, "Hey, best wishes," go to your new team. I even came. This how much of a team player I was to the Sharks, though. The Sharks had their championship game was the day before ours
Hmm.
in Porto, mind you. I'm staying in Porto with mom and dad.
Yeah.
Mom and dad was just in whatever. I go take 3 trains by myself to see those guys play in their semifinal because whoever win that one is going to play us
Yeah.
and whoever win our game.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to support my guys, so I'm down there. I go and it's love. Everybody, it's love from all the players. But the coaching staff was a little, hey, what's going on?
You could
You
tell.
could tell the vibe was
Yep.
different. Now fast forward, that year is over. My team loses in the semifinal. The team that we lost to ends up winning the championship.
Mm.
And my other team made it to the championship though. But what ended up happening was, so that following year, I didn't know if I could go back to the Lumberjacks because that was the team I played for. They just didn't have the money. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't even know that I was funding myself that second half of the season. A lot of people don't
Mm.
know the sponsors dropped out because the team was playing so bad. I didn't even have a sponsor, so I was pretty much covering all my expenses
Yeah.
while without a job while playing ball.
Yeah.
So, but like I say, it was like I said, like it's a trying time though. It was a
Mhm.
trying time going through that, but I appreciated the journey because it made me a better man for sure.
Do you still think you love the game of football?
Oh no, I love it, man. I can't stop watching. I will watch old games. I sit on there and watch old games. I'm talking about like the '95 Cowboys versus the
Hey,
49ers. Like
classics.
I'm watching, I'm watching old games. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I'm always gonna love the game. You can't always play the game though.
Hmm.
And my thing was always that if you're not playing the game at a high level,
What's the
then
point?
it's no point in playing.
Yeah.
But I did want to finish this point about what I was saying about my old team about burning bridges. This for the younger players.
Hmm.
So, like I said, the coaching staff was a little funny toward me at their semifinal game. The year is over now, and the guys want me to come back. All the guys is like, "Hey, bro, we need you back, bro. You a hell of a player." I went all pro that season, and I played in the least amount of games out of everybody. I played 8. Everybody else played 12, and I still was all pro. And I was second. I was second in best linebacker. What I got beat by a guy that actually was a better linebacker than me.
Hey, being honest.
And yeah, no, he was a
Yeah.
better linebacker than me for sure. I think I made more splash plays, but as a linebacker, like play to play, no, he was a better linebacker. Now you talking about making more interceptions and highlight real plays? No,
Yeah.
I would have had that. But as far as like grading a linebacker, no, I watched this film and I was like, no, I could,
Hmm.
and he played 4 games, and I seen it in 2 games. I said, no,
Yeah.
easy. I gotta step up. Like I know I gotta play better because of him. But I was trying to go back to the team, and they wouldn't resign me.
Mm.
Now figure that out. I just went all pro. Um, this was the first team that didn't want to resign me. Not my second team. The first team that I left, they didn't want to resign me, and it was just because of how I did it. It was because I basically told them, "Hey, if y'all don't let me transfer, I'm gonna just sit in this house all day and I'm not going to practice." I essentially held out,
Yeah.
and I could have did that better, But that was my ego, and that's what I would tell a younger player too, is that yeah, you gonna be the man and you can make plays and all of that, but you don't want to burn your bridges with these teams and these owners unless they really do something to you that you can't forgive, which that didn't even happen to me. But I overreacted because me being younger, and also me being frustrated with me not playing led me to say and do some things that looking back, I'm like, man, I could have did that so much more different.
And that's
But
good. That's good you acknowledge that, as you know, that you see
yeah,
how you would have played that
but
different.
that's growth.
Yep.
But that's the journey of life. You know, at that time I was 27. I was 27. Um, and oh no, yeah, I was 27, and I'm 33 now. So it's 6 year difference. Like I'm mentally, I don't think the same as I did then. And at the same time, um, what I was my intent wasn't wrong, but the way
Mm.
I carried it out was wrong. And
Yeah.
it's like our parents used to tell us, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Big facts. So
So
you said your favorite player was Barry Sanders and Deion Sanders,
yeah.
right? But who was your favorite team?
Oh, the Detroit Lions by default, and that was just because of Barry Sanders. I like the Lions
Because
because
people
of Barry
wonder like
Sanders.
why you like the Lions, man?
Because of Barry Sanders, I
Yeah.
promise you. I would watch 20, and man, I would watch him in a play where it looked like, oh man, he might get 2 yards. He make two cuts and then it's 60 yards. And you like, dang. And not only was it was just the way that he did it, and the best part about him though was that he didn't celebrate. That's what made you.
Yeah, nah, he was no
If
different level
you
with that one.
He
So
didn't
super humble.
celebrate. You don't
He the
see him spike
definition
the
of humble.
ball.
Yeah.
He net the I've only seen him ever maybe 3 or 4 touchdowns. He even show emotion, like when he
Yeah.
pump his arm or do anything. Most of
Yeah.
the time, he just
Get a ball to the
get the
ref.
ball to the ref. You know,
That's
and
respect.
that as
That's
a
high
player
level
was
respect
like,
right there.
it was like, what can you say to him? Like he's that good, and like,
Yeah.
and not only is he doing y'all defense like this, but he not even celebrating. He just like it's normal. Like, here, man, go ahead, take the ball.
What would you say
So
is
yeah,
the
Barry Sanders made me like the Detroit Lions. And still to this day, sadly enough,
yeah.
I'm still a Lions fan. You know, I don't.
Even
You
though they
know,
ain't been good
I
in
always say it's
18 seasons, but
yeah. I was gonna say we done been I think we'd have been about 2 playoffs since I've been a Lions fan, and I've been here 33 years. So that's tell you something right there.
sheesh.
We we just ain't good, man. But I do like the direction we going in. We getting a lot of young players. I actually like our team this year, and I do feel like we a year away, or this year we can actually compete for a playoff spot. I do think that this year,
That's
and I'm not being delusional. I'm saying like from really looking at our roster, you can see the guys, and we got a lot of player coaches too. The thing I do like about the Lions is we did hire a lot of player coaches, a lot of guys that were former
yeah.
players that were actually good players too, because I not to say that if you play the game, it gives you an advantage coaching, but I think it does in the extent of you being able to connect with your players
Hmm.
because you've been out there, so you can tell them, hey, if you go in with your shoulder, you're gonna get blocked in this way. So
Yeah.
a person that never played the game ain't gonna be able to explain it to that
Yeah,
level
because
of
they don't
detail
know.
just because
Yeah.
they just weren't in it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And so I do like that. So like I said, I think that we on our way up. It's a 17 game season now. If you want me to predict our record,
What's your name?
I'm gonna say Lions go. I'm gonna say Lions go 10-7. I like
Okay.
10-7.
That's a winning record.
That's a winning record.
Can't be
Now I
mad.
don't know. I don't know if that's gonna get us into the playoffs because we in the same division with the Packers.
Yeah,
Uh,
all the hard hitters in there.
the Bears, the
Yeah.
Vikings, all those teams could be good in a year. So I don't know, but I do know, like I do think we can get 10 wins this season, though. I think
Yeah.
so.
And speaking of wins, what would you say is one of your most memorable plays that you've done that's still clear in your mind?
Man, I got a few. I got a few. I can go most recent though. I was playing in the semifinal in Romania 2019. I'm sorry. And we had lost to this team before. Matter of fact, they 21'd us. They made us pass the
Mm.
controller. They 21'd us. And I distinctly remember, like, I never had a chance to touch the ball that game. Like,
Mm.
they never threw the ball at me. I never was even close to the ball. So I just remember thinking, if I get close to this ball, I gotta intercept it. Now, mind you, I was playing with a torn pectoral.
Yeah.
I was playing with a ruptured pec. So I could barely lift my right arm, and lo and behold, it happened. I was doubling this guy. They had this fast receiver, this
Mhm.
white guy, fast too. Um, he number 10 is coming around, so I'm doubling him, and he's running like a post. So I'm underneath him,
Yeah.
and then I see the quarterback loading up the throw, but I don't know if he was throwing it to the crosser or what, but he throws it. My outside linebacker, Volley, I love you. It's my boy. Volley
Put
tips
him on
the
blast.
ball. Like Volley goes to catch it, but he don't catch it. He tips it, and I just see the ball coming in slow motion. Mind you, this play right here is going to end the game. We catch this, all we're going to have to do is
Yeah,
run the clock out. The game's over. This the
yeah.
game clinching. So Volley tips it, and I just see the ball, and I remember me thinking like, I didn't lift my arm the entire game, but this was the one time that I
You
was gonna
needed
lift my
to.
arm and get the
Yeah.
ball. And the ball just coming to me, and I just snatched it out the air. And I was gonna go try to score. And I remembered I was hurt. So if you see the play, you see me catch it, and then you see me turn, I'm like, oh. And then I just go down because I'm like, I don't want to hurt my arm
Smart.
even
No,
more than what it's
that's
hurt.
smart thinking right there.
But I just remember, that was actually my second interception that year, well, third interception that year. But in a time like that, when my team needed that play,
You had to come
I
through.
went ahead and made the play.
Yeah.
And I had a play, I had a play similar to that in arena ball. We were in another semifinal that we were in,
Hmm.
and that was like my best game ever, I think. But that's another story. But I ended up they were trying to roll out. I was sitting next to the running back, and I'm sitting next to him, like standing here, like I'm baiting the
Yeah.
quarterback. Like I want him to throw it, and he throws like a duck, and I just step in front of him like Madden. You know how Madden they just teleport. I
They
just
be on
caught
it.
it. And the funny thing is, I'm so dumb. I should have just ran in to go score. I'm jogging because I'm like, yeah, we won the game.
Yeah.
The guy who was standing next to me, he hits me into the pole. I don't fumble or nothing though. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was the
That
game
was the
right
early
there too. So,
celebration. Yeah.
yeah, I definitely could have. I definitely could have got stripped right there. But yeah, those are two plays like game clinching interceptions. Those are the best because those are literally walk off plays. Like after that,
Exactly. That's what. That's
the
what.
game's over.
That's when the crowd get hyped. The girls be going crazy.
Oh no, you watched that play, man. It was a big play because everybody knew I was playing hurt. And I
Yeah.
wasn't even supposed to play. Like everybody thought that it was no way I could even play in the game. And not only for me to play, but for me to make that play right there, like, yeah, that meant something to me. I
Yeah.
definitely say that.
Did girls ever distract you from your goals though?
Oh man, yes, man. That was one of my problems. So this is another lesson for the young athletes, man.
Oh, because I'm
This is
telling you, they
perfect because
watching right now. They watching, man.
I could I could speak to this. Man, the women will always be there. And this is what I mean by I say the women will always be there. I'm not saying you got to get married at 48. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this: don't let women distract you from your day-to-day things that you got to do, i.e., lifting, going to the gym, going to film study, going to practice. Don't let a woman come in between that. The reason why I'm telling y'all this is because I've done that. I've stayed late over women's house, got drunk with women, and had to play in the game and play like shit. Matter of fact, to be honest, like I'll be completely transparent and I say this is my worst game I think I ever had overseas. It was my first game overseas. The night before I was out with a friend and it was it was a resort. So
Uh-oh.
the drinks are unlimited
Oh,
and
you
that's
was
where they
getting
get you.
litty.
And the drinks, listen, bro, the drinks were fruity, so you don't really taste the alcohol. They were good drinks.
Oh
They
yeah, yeah.
taste
No, I
like,
know. No, I know. Like
you know what I mean. So
like a
I'm
fruity
drinking
jungle
them,
juice.
and
Mhm.
like I said, I'm chilling with a black woman, and it wasn't too many black women in my area, so I was enjoying myself,
Yeah,
and I had too many. I just
yeah.
being honest, I had too many, and I remember falling asleep there. It's so bad, man. I fell asleep
Sound
in
bad.
her room, and then I woke up at 5 thinking that I missed the bus because the team bus was coming to our house at like 9. So
Uh-huh.
mind you, I'm in a city that's about 40 minutes away.
Sheesh.
I wake up, get a taxi, go home. Mind you, I'm hungover.
Mhm.
I'm feeling it. I probably had like 6 or 7, and then we had drinks in the room, so I'm feeling it. I'm
Mm.
feeling it. So I just tell myself we got a 3 hour bus ride to the stadium. I'll be all right by
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
By the time I got there, I was okay, but I was sweating. I just wasn't myself. I like in that first half, I felt like a step slow.
Mhm.
And that's when like I say, don't let women distract you because that same woman would have been there tomorrow after my game.
Yep.
And I've had women tell me that where I say, "Hey, I got to go lift. You gonna be free after?" And they say, "Yeah." So you can still have fun. I'm not saying that, but women have definitely distracted me, and I've been over women's house, like I said before, an important practice or before an important game, and it has
Mm.
affected my performance. And I'm not to say that sometimes I did that and it didn't affect my
Yeah,
performance,
you're being
but
honest.
I'm saying that to say, but at the same time, why even risk it? Why
Hmm.
not go and why not that night you focus on what you need to focus on? And that's that's something that I didn't do. And that's why I say, and it cost me a couple times. Like I said, I
Yeah.
got put on the practice squad one time because of how bad I played in the scrimmage.
Mm.
Because the night before I was up all night.
Yeah. That's good.
So
Nah, you give us all that advice.
yeah.
What would you
Now
say?
you gotta be honest with yourself. You gotta be honest.
What would you say is your what's your passion now though?
My passion now is still football. I'm very much focusing on the legalization of cannabis. I think that it is important for people in general. I think that it's um it's important for people, and I think that for the people that are in sports, especially football, it could be a better pain relief than the typical drugs that you may be prescribed,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously be less addictive. I've found that that can also be a key to better cognitive thinking. And so I'm actually focusing on the legalization of cannabis because I want to get into maybe not growing, but investing into a few different growing facilities and also dispensaries. Because I do think that it's something that in 10 years, it'll be legalized in 48 of the 50 states.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
getting more and more legalized every day.
Yeah, and you could tell it was going that route because it started getting decriminalized a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
So once they decriminalize something, 9 times out of 10,
Might
the
might as
monetization is
well make
coming.
I say might as well make some money off of it.
I mean,
Let's keep it a buck right now.
we gonna let you do it. We gonna get some money. It ain't that hard to figure out. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely something that I could see. I'm
So
passionate about.
would you want to be like a store owner? Would you want to have your own store? Or would you just want to be a background investor?
I I probably want to be a solid investor at first, just because of my other brands that it could maybe cause some type of conflict.
Mm.
So that's why I don't really, broadcast that side of my life or anything about that. It's just one of those things that if you know, you know, as we say in the black community, if you know, you
You said it right there.
yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, go because because mine is deep. I was gonna go off of that.
No, I was just gonna say, but yeah, I do think that I do see a future with it though, and that's why I'm staying close to the different.
Avenue.
You have different strains, you have different different effects, different levels, and different levels of THC, also CBD as
Mm-hmm.
well, because people think cannabis and automatically think, oh, you high. No, CBD does the same exact things that other cannabis with THC does without the high. So maybe you don't want to be high. Maybe you just want that pain relief. Maybe you got joint problems. So you could still be involved and not have to be subjected to being under the influence.
That's good. That's good. That's a good logic right there. Speaking of that, you see in the future with that, where do you see yourself in 3 years?
In 3 years, I see myself investing, already have invested. I see myself being financially more responsible.
Mm-hmm.
And I see myself being married with at least one child in 3 years.
Mm. So you already got that. You already got your plan already set up.
Yeah, I can see, you know what I mean? If
Yeah.
that's just, what I see in the next 3 years though.
Yeah. Do you still want to play football?
Part of me does. But I had a pretty much a career threatening injury.
Mm.
And it's one of those things where I don't know if I would want to come back hurt because I had nothing to prove. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I did want to get a championship in Europe. I was close twice.
Yeah.
Semifinals in the actual championship game. But the thing was that, if you're chasing something like that, what happens if 3 games into the season you could tell that y'all aren't championship material, so are you then gonna quit?
Mm-mm.
And I never was the type of person to play just for a trophy. Don't get me wrong, I always wanted to win. but that wasn't my sole purpose of just saying, "Hey, I'm gonna play this year," for a ring. It does to a degree bother me that I got hurt and wasn't able to play my absolute best in those last couple games. It
Mhm.
used to bother me. I would say that it used to bother me, but I've actually watched the film of those games at least 5 to 6 times, and for somebody that had one arm, I actually think I played a hell of a game in both.
That's amazing.
So I a lot of times as athletes we can be hard on ourselves, and sometimes we can be unrealistic with ourselves. And I honestly, I know if I would have played that game 100 times with my arm being the way it was, maybe I get an interception, maybe I get 2 interceptions, but it don't change the outcome of the game. That team was just a better team than we were at that time. You know what I
Wow.
mean? The first time we beat them, and that was game one, and that just goes to show you the progression. The first game that we won, our first regular
Mhm.
season game,
Mhm.
was the same team that we lost in the championship.
Wow.
So
Teams
that's
can improve.
football.
Yep.
Yeah, teams improve, and not only that, injuries are a real part of football. A lot of our guys were hurt that year. A lot of people, a lot of guys got hurt. I was, by the end of the season, I'm playing with a torn pectoral. My starting receiver tore his ACL. Is the first game of the season. My starting safety broke his collarbone the last regular game of the season. So we had 3 to 4 injuries, and we just didn't have enough players.
Yeah.
We looked at their sideline, they had 35, 36 guys. We might have had 18 guys dressed, 19. You're not gonna win a
Crazy.
football game like that.
Yeah, no, 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 no. And
No.
a good way to avoid being injured is to not be a player. So have you ever seen yourself being like a sports analyst or a reporter?
I could see myself being maybe a coach or maybe a sports agent before I could see somebody, being commentating or being a commentator. I don't think there's nothing wrong with broadcast and everything like that. Those guys get paid handsomely to
Yeah.
do what we do in the barbershop. Literally, that's what we do in
Yeah,
the
exactly.
barbershop to pay who's better. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
That's the debate we have every time in the barbershop. Well, I wouldn't know about the barbershop, but when I used to go. But back when I used to go to the barbershop,
Yeah.
those were the debates. And if you think about it, Stephen A. and Skip Bayless are getting paid upwards of millions of dollars
Yep.
to talk sports. So, it's working for them. You know what I mean? But me personally, I'd rather be on the business side or on the coaching side. I could see myself being an agent because I understand contracts for me. Playing a little bit of pro. But
Mhm.
more importantly, I understand the way teams are, what teams are trying to do, and I understand how to gauge a player's value based on the year and based on the value of that team,
Boom.
because a certain player might be a extreme liability on one team, but you could put him on another team and he be successful.
Yeah.
It's always about the system. But yeah, I could see me being, like I said, agent or coach, and I'm definitely looking into coaching. I'm thinking about going to High Point University and talking to their athletic director and saying maybe if I can get something rolling.
Okay. No, no. Hey, that's good. I hear you. What are your other hobbies outside of sports?
Outside of sports, I also want to start driving trucks as well. I'm trying to get my CDLA,
Okay.
Class A license. If I'm not saying it right, I'm sorry if I misquoted. But my Class A, I do like to drive. I don't like to drive with people in the car, so I figured driving things back and forth would be a lot easier than having somebody in my car doing Uber, because I could see me doing Uber and getting tired of it.
Oh yeah. People crazy.
Especially nowadays.
Exactly. People be doing the most and what if you
Yeah.
had a son, you think you would train him to like be a football player or
I don't know if I would train him. I think I would really sit him down, and when he's old enough to fully understand what I'm saying,
Mhm.
I would explain to him, you know, the reality of football, what it does to your body, what it can do to your brain. And the game is a lot safer now. So by the time, my child is even old enough to play, it'll be even more safer than it is now.
True.
But even with it being safe, it's still risk injuries. It's still a risk of getting injured. It's still a risk of paralysis, and it's a real conversation. Guys get paralyzed. I've personally tackled guys and seen that season in.
Mm.
So injuries are not just a thing that might happen. Football is the one sport that I can say it's 100%, percent injury rate because
Yeah,
everybody's gonna get hurt. It's just a level
eventually.
of
Yeah.
it's just a level of what's gonna get hurt. Some guys get away and they can say, like me, prior to me having, rupture my pec, I never really had any significant injuries,
Hmm.
you know. And so, some guys get away and don't have that, but a lot of guys throughout your time, you're gonna have at least one bad injury.
You definitely don't want that ACL tearing.
I was always lucky. I never had nothing happen to my knees. I never had a knee injury. I
Mm.
did have like a sprained MCL one time, but that was like that was it. But yeah, I never really had too many knee injuries, so I was lucky on that.
Guess what? The chat asked me to ask you this. All right, I ain't even had this one in the queue. They said, which Madden was your favorite and why?
Ooh, that's a question right there. Ooh, which Madden was my favorite? You got to
I think
think.
I know what you're gonna say.
Damn, I might be the one I'm playing right now. Honestly,
Which one you going?
Madden '06. I might say
Hey,
Madden '06
the
was my
old
favorite Madden. I might say that just because the Vision Cone got introduced, and you really had to know how to play if you had the Vision Cone, and that
Yeah,
really dictated who you played with. Because if you play with a trash quarterback, you either had to have a crazy run game, or you had to really know how to use that person's
aim that.
flashlight to get throw the ball. You had to really have some
Bro, Vic,
skills. So I would say
bro, Vix was probably literally
Vic,
that, bro.
Vic had a flashlight but could
Yeah,
throw the ball. Bro, it's so funny that you say that. I was just playing Vic in the franchise, and Vic made this throw where he made a Pat Mahomes throw. Like, I'm not even being funny. He rolled out to the right side, and he threw a post. Man, it was like 60 yards in the air, and I'm like, bro, no quarterback in this game can even throw like that. But
yeah,
Vic was doing that
yeah, he was.
back then. He really was doing that
Nah,
for
he really
real. So
could.
yeah,
Yeah, he
I
had
really couldn't
crazy
be
throw
mad.
power
But yeah,
always.
Madden '06.
Yeah, now throw
Huh?
accuracy. He had crazy throw power. Now his accuracy on the other hand.
Yeah, and that accuracy, that used to, bro. I couldn't tell you. I never really played with Vic because I kind of felt like it was cheating to a degree.
Yeah,
Like,
he's too good.
because he had, come on, bro. You had him, you had Peerless Price, you had Warwick Dunn, Algie Crumpler.
Woo,
Like it was a
that was
little,
a team right there.
cheating a little bit
Yeah.
though. Yeah, it was cheating on offense.
Let's
But
say,
yeah, that '06 was it though.
yeah, that was soft. That was soft. Well, if you were in Madden, what do you think your best rating would be?
My best attribute,
Yeah. I
I would say, it'd have to either be my tackling or awareness.
What would they be? If you had to
I
estimate.
think awareness, honestly, 95. Tackle, 95.
Okay,
And the only
okay,
reason why I
kind
give
of
myself
realistic.
a high rate is because I don't miss a lot of tackles. If you
Yeah,
go back through, I can count. I never missed double digit tackles in any season I ever played in.
that's true. No, that's true.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say that. And I always thought like I was in a Madden before though. I don't know, remember that time
Oh, you talking
when I
about
was
tournament?
playing in Portugal? No, I got it. And they did a mod of Madden. I think they did a
Oh
mod of
yeah,
Madden,
yeah, yeah. No, I seen that
and
shit.
they
Yeah,
had me. Yeah, they
you was
put
in
me
it.
in there. I don't know what my rating was though, bro. I
Yeah,
tried to tell them I need 99 speed, but they ain't hear me though. But yeah, I but yeah,
he really
I
was
said
in there.
99.
He was in there.
I had to, but nah, I would say yeah, awareness and tackling would be my two highest attributes.
All right, so Kev, now you went through all the questions. Now tell me right now, you got anything to promote? You got any sponsorships you want to talk about?
Well, right now I don't have any sponsors to talk about, but you can follow me on social media. My Instagram is hit and run 31. It's
In the description
HITN
below, we got you.
in the description below. Bad, you already got me. So that's my little brother. You already ahead of me. So
Yeah.
just follow my socials. I do promote different products. As far as my wife does nails, she also is working on doing hair as well. So I do promote her stuff. And I promote different things. I do personal training as well. So if you're in the High Point Greensboro area and you're looking for a personal trainer right now, I'm only doing $20 a session, and I'll even come to you. So I'm working on that as well, building up my clientele, actually working on getting myself into perfect shape again because I want to get to a certain body fat percentage,
Yeah.
before the summer is over.
North Carolina, hit them up. I'm serious.
Hey, for real, now I'm not. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all see me on here laughing and joking, and
Yeah.
I'm a nice person. But when it comes to working out, I don't play. I'm
You,
serious.
you still
You
bench?
know. Well, oh no, right now that's the only thing with my pec like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah, Pecs.
I I can bench, but I only bench with the dumbbells now.
That's smart. No, that's smart. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I do that now. But like I was saying, man, if y'all want to come work out with me, I will push you though. And honestly, I do like to see people get better. I do like to see people reach their goals. So if you work with me,
Respect.
I will work with you. And like I said, if you want a goal, we can set a goal and I'll set up a plan. And I can even help on the nutrition side as well to even help you, get there a little quicker.
Oh, so you doing both, huh? You like a
Yeah, I can
nutritionist too?
actually, like I said, I can. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not going on here saying I'm a nutritionist or anything like that. But I am saying as far as putting the right foods into your body for
Yeah,
performance,
yeah.
I can speak to that because I've had to do that for football games. I've had to eat a certain amount of carbs the night before, and then the day of the game, eat fruits and stay away from acidic fruits and that type of thing. So I do have some knowledge in that field. I would say.
Yeah, I think you're pretty knowledgeable on it. All right, so
Yeah.
you guys, as always, this has been Kai Turner, ReSquared, Kev coming at you. Have an amazing day. Peace.
Peace.